You should be able to see the collar pretty well. You know, uh, I've gone over this, over and over and over. Don't fixate on the nail. Uh, Look at all the other visual information that's available as I'm going over my fingers. Um, this is, you can start to see, you can see the collars. All of this is buildup from there to there. The cuticle pushes out and pushes out and pushes out. And so there's just this huge, there's still this much buildup. It used to be all the way up to here. So a lot's come off the sides, but this, you can see this is still a huge band of dead cuticle material. It builds up and up and up and pushes out and out and out and out. And normally when that's happening, you've got so much blockage, you've got so much blockage here that your fingers are starting to puff up in tandem with it. And when the fingers swell up, it obscures the collar and you won't even see it. If you've got dishpan hands, red, your fingers are red around the fingernail, and you don't actually do your dishes in the sink, but you use a dishwasher, maybe you should start paying attention. Your fingers should not be red. It's all bogus. That's just today's layer of dead skin. And just in a day, that'll all glue back down to the nail. And lock it all right back down. This is why you have to do nail maintenance every day, but I'm just not back to that place where my fingers and fingernails are normal. I'm still in the getting damage off phase. Even though that's bleeding, I did not pull out really living tissue there. I just disturbed it. It's all that dead skin had been laminated in under the nail for years and years and years. Probably, see, but this is getting more difficult now because I don't have a buffer of dead skin. Before I was just peeling out strip after strip after strip of dead cuticle. I didn't realize the rest of what was going on. I didn't realize this was all dead skin on the front of my finger. I was just peeling these out and peeling these out and peeling these out. I did that for 2 years before one day one of these nails broke loose and started to travel out. And then it started to, then the nail started to break up, and as the nail broke up, then this dead skin on the front of the finger started to dry up and flake, just like this had been drying up. So then I was peeling this out and scraping this off and peeling this down. And then finally I realized as this stuff as the old nail material that was jammed up under my fingers started to come out and try to make new nails, my fingers started to deflate. And then I saw the collar, and I saw how big that cuticle buildup was all the way around. And now my fingers are kind of flattening out because they're the dimension, the shape of the fingers is changing. But as this moves back, the nail is actually pushing down on all this dead skin material, and as the nail scales back, this just rolls up and rolls right back up and over, and it'll go right back up to the top of the nail. It just shows how much buildup I've got. It all has to come off before I can start really getting anywhere. I really am not back to, I'm not back to ground zero yet. We're still in prep here. The nails are built up to the side, spilled out over. You'll see now, when I take this wing off, if I can do it without gouging myself, you'll see that groove under there. And all that whole wing right there wants to come out. And then you'll see that this is actually all flubber, and it goes up and over and back down in. It wraps. And it'll leave and when I take all of this off, there'll be an indent all the way around. And everything, all of that, from there, from the nail bed out, except for one layer of living skin, it's all dead cuticle buildup, every bit of it. And it has dramatically altered the natural shape of my fingers and my nails. It's worth looking at some of these old videos. I did one that was 17 minutes and 28 seconds. But some of the more recent ones that are really pretty short are worth taking a look at. Some of the recent longer ones have gotten a few views. 250 views, 300 views each. And they're fairly long. There's one that's an hour and 58 minutes. There's one that's an hour and 33 minutes. And I don't know, the 3-hour one hasn't gotten that many views, but there's another one. There's 3 in a row that are pretty long. And they're pretty comprehensive in terms of showing you what's actually going on here. It's getting to a point where you can actually see. Without making a video, I came along the other day and I pulled these two fingers came in for a lot of abuse because I could get to them and chew them. There's not these two over here. And you can see I've just over and over and over again I pull chunks out of right here. And the way it is as the nail gets bigger, each successive nail that tries to repair or cover up the damage that's been done, it gets incrementally larger. And so I leave a nail flake there, and the nail gets a little bigger. The next nail comes out and covers it. And then I'll pull another piece of nail out and and leave a little piece of nail flake there. I get more cuticle skin, dead cuticle skin, and the nail comes out and covers it. So now that the process is reversing, I pull a nail flake and the nail gets smaller, and that reveals another nail flake, and the next nail delaminates, and there's another nail flake, and each one is its own separate damage. All of these have been in there for some of them for over half a century. And it's a tremendous source of discomfort and disease. It builds up pressure in your system, and I think it, has psychological effects and other effects that are really deleterious, bad for you. That still doesn't want to cooperate. Oh, golly. This is, there's the thumb, comes in for a lot of abuse, and you can see the collar. This is how much dead cuticle buildup in a ring all the way around that I still have on the thumb. And then I've got, you see the collar there, right? You can see this collar here. But you see it more pronounced up here. Okay, that's all dead skin, whether you believe it or not. And it rolls right back up and wants to bury the nail again. Every time I take off, excavate some, there's more. And it rolls up, it's under pressure, and it rolls back up and rolls back up and rolls back up. But this was after the thumb. This is the next finger that I bit a lot, and there's it was all the way out here. The collar was actually distended where it went out here and out and around like that and back, and this was all impaction in here, and nail flake after nail flake after nail flake. And this nail on the side is still too wide, and yet it's covering up nail flakes and more damage underneath, and it does not want to come out of there. But I did manage to pull a lot of impaction and a big, huge honking nail flake out of right there. And this just immediately rolled back in and covered it up. It was standing out very wide. I pulled out, it looked like you're pulling out rope caulk. Just a big, fluffy wad of it. And there also. Those two were the next two that I was able to get to with my teeth and do a lot of damage. So without making a video of it, I took a lot of crud out of there the other day, and it's all just covered back up and sealed itself back up. You could see too when I cut into this the other day, I cut through several layers on the side, and you could see that it was multi-level. I'd taken a chunk out of the dead skin, and it let this cuticle with 2 or 3 different levels of it. And start to see now where this is coming off. The buildup used to be up here, and it came in a cord around, and now it's sloughing off down to the side. A lot of it is peeled out of there. That has just been over and over and over again forever. You can see down in there. It's just like it's been poked in, punched in down there with a daubing stick or something. That just tucks under the nail. That was just dead skin. Dead cuticle skin. And the next layer of nail just comes out and forms right over it. And it makes these corners very tight. As it diminishes, as this builds up, it packs the corner very tight. It's just like painting, molding on woodwork. Successive layers of paint obscure the details, and this just almost the same here in this corner. It's just so many layers packed in that into that corner that it just gets diminishes the arc of the radius here and packs in more and more and more material. Sometimes that, if it's curled up underneath there, sometimes if you hook it just right, it'll just roll out. This kind of a dull point helps. It'll snag sometimes the dead skin. You wouldn't be doing this if this was living tissue, you know what I mean? But it's callous, so I can actually stick it and pull on it and pull it out sometimes. But all those layers of dead skin have to come out. And tomorrow this next layer here will be drying up, and it'll want to come loose. This is a remnant of old top nail. It's trying to break up. This is extended way far out to the side there. It wants to come back in there. All of this could be painful trying to trim that off. But, and you'll see the line all the way around once the nail is scaled back, and it'll look like that. But this is obscured again because it's rolled back up. But you can almost see. See, that's filled in. That's a dent, a groove that runs all the way around, but it's filled in with dead skin. And when it picks out, you'll see it in relief. This is where you cut yourself when you're working back toward your flesh. So you'll see that's just another layer there underneath. Dead skin, all of it. Callus. Every bit of it. And the dimension of my thumb is shrinking because this is all just surplus material. And when it comes off, it's gone. Just peeling off callus. And you can see that groove now. And that groove would extend all the way around. When I pick it all out, it'll go all the way back around there and there. And this is all just junk that's packed in there. More and more and more. I know it looks gruesome, but it's really all just dead skin. Laminated in. Layer after layer. And then overlaid with nail that comes out as a wash and forms over it. It's not an effort to repair the damage, really, because the body can't. It can just cover it up. So these are all just kind of masking. This all just masks the damage that you've done. It doesn't really do anything to fix it. It just entombs it. And you go on and build up more and more and more. So we're not back to the nail bed yet. See, this is all stuff that's just been appliqued on the side, trying to cover the damage where I bit the nail away on the side, trying to get back to a nail flake and get my teeth on it so I could pull it out with my teeth. I'll tell you something else at my age that I know that you may not realize. Biting your fingernails damages your teeth. You're not supposed to use your teeth as tools, actually. And I have a groove in my front two teeth on top where I've worn them away biting my fingernails. There we go. That's what we call a string. Pulled out right there. And underneath there, you see there's that groove. That groove just continues and goes all the way around. But when it gets out here, it's covered over and filled in with a bunch of repair material, dead skin, semi-callus. It's all the same stuff. It's all dead cells, whether it's hard nail, soft, crumbly nail like that, or if it's callus skin, or if it's regular flexible skin. It's all basically the same stuff. It just takes different forms. So when it gets laminated in there, you have a hard time sometimes telling what you actually got. The skin goes this way, and the nail flows out this way. So if you're peeling it off this way with a knife like that, it's skin. And if it peels up the other way, it's nail. And you see this is all still skin. There's skin underneath the nail, which is not right. It just means there's more to come off. Because I had my nails bitten off probably all the way back to here. And so skin formed over the nail bed. And since then, all the nail material that's come out and formed over that has not been attached to the nail bed, and therefore it's not right. It's just an illusion of a nail. It's a repair. It's a cosmetic repair. It's done nothing to correct the original problem, which was the fact that you were biting your fingernails. for whatever reason. Children that can't act out, that are under such rigid control, sometimes they cannot act out without endangering themselves, and so they do other things like cannibalize themselves. Anytime you see a small child cannibalizing himself, you ought to ask why. That broke. I didn't get anything. Just got a tiny little piece. But you see this whole mishmash of nail type material is projecting out to the side. So we still don't know yet where the actual nail bed is. How much of that needs to scale off. Skin peels off just like butter because it's dead. It's exactly like dead sunburned skin. Roll it up in a ball. Ooh wee. All that junk that's laminated on the side of the nail bed has to come out. And you see this wants to separate. It's glued. This collar of dead cuticle skin has got that space between it and the nail, and this other material flows in and just solidifies in there. And so that will all pick out. All of that junk in that groove will pick out all the way around. But it won't necessarily come out easily. And then that'll help this what's left of this collar of dead skin dry up and start to flake away. And the stuff that's embedded in the skin, this nail material that's embedded in the skin, that will help it flake off and flake back. And that's why I talk about this laminated in. A second ago, that was all one, it's just like all laminated together. There's supposed to be a clear separation between the nail and the skin. If you don't have that, that's a problem. Don't just keep shaping dead skin with a little wooden stick. It's embalming your nails. And you see how the nail just flattened out there. All of this junk filled up. The cuticle skin built up and up and up, and that groove that's supposed to separate, be a dividing line between the nail and the skin, it got impacted, and then the nail, as it came out liquid, the nail was jammed. All of these stacks of nails were embalmed, and just a wet top coat would come out, and it would start to spread out like floor wax, and it would come out over this embalmed cuticle skin. And eventually the nails become paddle shaped, and they assume the shape of the built up callus cuticle skin underneath, and covers it completely. And since you don't have x-ray vision and you can't see through your nails, you don't ever see this big bumper. You just see that big nail, and the skin is all the way out to your skin is there, and you keep pushing it back with your little stick, but it's built up on the side of your nail up to there. It's not supposed to be there. It's not supposed to be grabbing the nail like that. The nail is supposed to move out freely. So you have this skin built up on both sides, and you push on the leading edge with your little stick, and the whole stack of nails underneath is embedded in skin down here, and the pushing on the leading edge with your little stick doesn't do anything to loosen up the nail. You're just shaping dead skin. It's not separating the cuticle from the nail. The cuticle and the nail are welded together down here underneath the skin. Oh, tiny little bit right there. That whole nail is just garbage. This needs to come out. Break up and go away. Pulling out from underneath the nail. But it broke off. Oh. The cuticle is dead skin. It doesn't tend to hurt, but when you pull at a piece of nail that's embalmed in the skin and pull on it, that does hurt. Got away. Anyway, did I get it? No. It's slippery. So there you should be able to see how that nail flattened out. Got away from the nail bed and started escaping out over this accumulated dead cuticle skin here. And then the nail will assume the shape of the accumulated dead cuticle skin, and you get paddle-shaped nails. Making much progress here. And so you can always leave some for tomorrow. So far there's always been more. Nope, got away again. So that got it. Tiny little stuff like that will irritate you once it starts to come loose. So that's freeing that bumper all the way around, relieving it, peeling out that accumulated dead skin that's laminated in, makes it all one, welds the nail to the cuticle, and then nothing moves, and that just becomes a dead plug in there. And whatever nail material that's trying to get out back here just has to flow out over and make a wash nail on top, because this is completely immobilized, and it's only moving incrementally, and it's moving only because the nail remains essentially plastic. But it's not moving out, it's not firming up, making one sheet of hard nail that's in direct contact to the nail bed and moves off directly the way it's supposed to. It gets jammed there, and then this material all builds up behind it, and it gets out wherever it can, however fast it can. And you start to get backlogged. You're not supposed to have all this dead skin. It's supposed to come off. All this dead cell material is supposed to come off of your body. It's not supposed to get jammed up in your fingers. Behind embalmed nails. Ooh! I punched in a little too deep. Maybe that's all just impaction. It's filling up that groove. I poked right through it and under it. I'm going to bleed now. Oh, hold your breath and try that, huh? Yeah, it's just all this junk. Just like a dead tooth, you know. 30 seconds ago, that was part of my living body, and now it's not. Well, I could go on and pick out a bunch more. I could pick out on that little finger. I didn't do much over here. Barely got started on any of that, but it has become tedious. And I'm probably about ready to call it off for today. Let's see what I can do on this one. It's crying out for attention. Some match to the other side where the cuticle had pushed out in a distended this way and then came back down, and you could see the collar is actually pushed out here and around. When the obstructive material is taken out, then the cuticle collapses and becomes round because it's elastic like a rubber band. Ouch. See, and that's under the nail. And because this is, when it builds up like that and it fills in that groove and then the nail comes out, it makes this is thicker here than the nail is supposed to be. A kind of a uniform thickness and uh, the same thickness all the way around. But when it starts to build up over here and leak out, it becomes thicker on the sides. And that makes it difficult to trim off without cutting yourself or hurting yourself. So, and you see that's just that's too thick, and it's a nail extension kind of on the side. It's just scaling off there, and you'll see the grooves start to emerge underneath. So that's enough for today. This has become tedious, and I have other things I need to do. We'll see you later.